Hello, I'm your host Muse, and today we're back with another recipe from the Stardew Valley cookbook. And today we're doing rice pudding. The rice pudding comes with a cherry compote. In the game, you get this from Granny Evelyn, and here it makes 4 to 6 servings. First, we're going to get 2/3 cup of long grain white rice. And then we're going to put it in this strainer into a bowl. And then we're going to just rinse it with water. We're not trying to get the starch off of it, so just like a quick rinse. And then let it dry for 15 minutes. Next, we're going to get 4 cups of whole milk. And then the recipe calls for 1 vanilla bean, but those are kind of hard to get. So we have this vanilla bean powder, and we're going to use half a teaspoon of that. Now you're going to give it a stir and then set it off to the side. Now in a medium saucepan, we're going to melt 2 tablespoons of butter. In the bowl with the butter and on medium heat, we're going to put in our rice. And we're going to let it cook in there for about 5 to 7 minutes and until the rice gets very bright and the butter starts to bubble a bit or foam a bit. And stir it frequently. Now to our rice, we're going to add our milk vanilla-ness, 1 cup of water, half a cup of sugar, and a pinch of salt. So we're going to mix this all in, and then we're going to bring it to a simmer and let it cook for about 20 to 25 minutes, stirring occasionally. So now that it's been that first 25 minutes, we're going to let it keep cooking until the rice gets plump and the milk becomes thick. But we're gonna make sure that it keeps simmering, but it doesn't get too scorched. And so by doing that, we're just gonna lower the heat whenever it starts to get a little too much. And we're going to mix it frequently for about 25 to 35 minutes. Now we're going to take this off of heat and we're going to scoop it into a medium-sized bowl. And then we're going to let it chill for an hour, or just sit in room temperature for an hour, cool. And it's going to thicken more during that hour, so you don't have to worry if your stuff's a little bit more runny. And you're gonna make sure to stir it occasionally for that hour. Now, while we're having that rice pudding cool, we're going to start on our cherry compote. So we're going to take our cherries, take off the stem, then cut them in half, roughly, and then take out the seed, which I could probably have done that with the knife as well, but I didn't. So, yeah. And then you're gonna do that with 1 pound of sweet red cherries. Now that we finished chopping and pitting all of those, we're just gonna put them in a saucepan because that's what we're going to use them next in. And we're going to get a 1/4 cup of mandarin orange juice. It says that it should be about 2 small oranges, or mandarins, I don't know. But we'll see how much it does make. So here we have our cherries, and we're gonna pour in our 1/4 cup of orange juice. We got it pretty well from that, 2 oranges. And then we have 3 tablespoons of sugar and a pinch of salt. I'm gonna stir that all together and cook it over medium heat for 15 to 20 minutes. Now that that's done cooking, we're going to take about half of the cherries and put them in a bowl. And then with the other half, we're going to let that keep simmering for an additional 10 minutes until it gets glossy and a bit more sauce-like. So here's a mic cut out, but the step's pretty simple. You're just going to put the rice pudding in the fridge for an hour or up to 5 days. Now that that's gotten more sauce-like, we're going to bring it over here with the rest of our cherries and pour it into there. And then we're going to mix it all up and let it chill completely. Or cool completely. And it doesn't specify how long this will take, so I guess that's up for debate. Sure. Now we're going to toast these sliced almonds for a topping. A quote from Demetrius. I have performed a spectrographic analysis of the sample and have determined it to be an optimal energy source for my body. However, I may need 200 additional grams for further analysis in my private laboratory. And now it's time to try this. Try and get a good bit of the sauce and the pudding. That's really good. There's a nice sweetness to the pudding. It almost like has, because I have oatmeal a lot, so it has like that same consistency as oatmeal kind of has. But obviously the rice is really different. So like kind of similar textures, but with that like a lot more sweet hints to it. And the sauce or compote is it's obviously got that sweet cherry in it, but there's like the tiniest bit of like tart cherry that cherries have, and it mixes really well, and it doesn't feel like it's too tart. It just feels like a subtle change in flavors, and the almonds give it a nice little crunch to it. And now you know how to make rice pudding from Stardew Valley. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing. And that's the 9th recipe in the spring section.